Let's wait. Okay, I'm live, I think. Hi everybody, welcome. I am starting 10 minutes early, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, Ariane 5 launch. Really cool. 2 communication satellites again. I can pull up the. I know the Ariane live show is there, but they haven't guessed, and I don't know if it's me, but the audio seems a bit choppy. I can try and.
The Space Center in Kourou.
It doesn't look like the audio from the Ariane stream is doing this. However, my laptop is. I'm doing this again via my laptop, and I probably am going to regret this because it seems that it can handle a slightly lower load, because every time in OBS on my streaming hardware it says that the encoder is overloaded, so the technical stuff, what it does is it drops my frames, and so it does appear to seem choppy, but I haven't seen it drop lower than 40 FPS, so we should be fine for this stream. Audio is there too, so I think I'm set up to go. And I should turn my own stream to look, my rewatch to like really low. Yeah, Ariane 5. So let me pull up Arianespace. So today we'll have a a roughly 30 minutes flight in around about 30 minutes or so. And what will happen is the boosters, of course, the Ariane 5 rocket. I do have a new thing. I'll be releasing the model from Alfonso. He was kind enough to reach out to me and say, "Well, hey, we're doing a premiere. You are going to, everybody that watches your stream gets a link to get to the file soon, but I'll release that after both satellites have deployed, so you have to stick around for that. It will be a Dropbox link, so I'll post it in the chat so you can watch, or actually you can find it. I'll need to pull it up though again. Yeah, and I'm planning, I don't know if I'm gonna do it after the stream has finished. I probably should close my door. I think I will. Because a lot of shit has been going on in my life shortly, because last year of secondary school, so yeah. Again, welcome if you're just joining. We're live again for the Ariane 5 launch. I was actually going to pull up the launch thing, because I read it like 2 days ago, so I can't really remember what was actually in there. I know it is the TIBA-1 and Inmarsat GX5, the satellites, but then again, I know that the flight profile is a standard flight profile, so 2 minutes and 20 seconds after launch. Well, actually, 2 minutes and 20 seconds after ignition of the first stage, so like the ignition of the Vulcan engine, the boosters will drop off, and then the core stage will continue to burn till 8 minutes and 41 seconds. That will drop off, and then the second stage will ignite, and that will burn till 25 minutes and 15 seconds, and then they will be in geostationary transfer orbit. So, and 27 minutes 9 seconds after launch, the first so the upper passenger separates. Then 29 minutes later, 29 minutes, at 29 minutes or 2 minutes later, the Silda will separate, and then at 34 minutes and 7 seconds, the Inmarsat GX5 will separate. The Inmarsat is fully electric, so it uses only ion propulsion for its main thing, I believe, and it doesn't show it in here, I believe. Or does it? No, it doesn't, which is a shame because they could have put that in there. But one of them is hybrid and one of them is only electric propulsion. I believe the upper passengers is slightly... Oh, if you look at the launch kit, they have a slightly misrendered something because the satellites appear to be similar in size. And looking at it, the TIBA-1 satellite weighs 5.6 tons, and the other one weighs 4 tons. So I expect the one that weighs 4 tons to be, so the Inmarsat 5 is fully electric, yeah, as I said, and the other one is hybrid, so it has chemical propulsion and hybrid propulsion. And electric propulsion. Electric propulsion will be used once it is in geostationary orbit to keep it in its place. So yeah, the farthest point of this orbit will be at 35,726 kilometers, and the lowest point of the orbit at 250 kilometers, inclined at 5 degrees. All of your normal stuff. It is fully stacked again because it's launching 10 tons to geostationary transfer orbit, which is including the mass of... No, it's only payload. So both satellites combined weigh over 10 tons, almost 10.5 tons. Which is why I like the Ariane 5, because it's really capable. I don't think there is another launcher that can launch 10 tons to geostationary transfer orbit. The Falcon 9 might be able to do it. The Delta 4 certainly did. Maybe just didn't because it was... I believe it did. But 10 tons, that's why I like the Ariane 5. It is quite capable. And then we have, of course, what else? How many minutes do I have left? I just need to look. Are they starting the stream already? No, not yet, I think. Maybe just. Did they? I think this is still the audio track starting, because it was supposed to start at a quarter. Yeah, so 5 more minutes. But yeah, exciting launch today. So yeah, this is the 4th launch of the Ariane 5, which I believe they are actually ramping up the Ariane 5 launches, because potentially there is another flight in December if they can pull that off. Yeah, they can have quite a quick turnaround, but that's because they have 2 launch platforms, so while one is launching, they can prepare the other one with a rocket and launch it. So yeah, that's what we're up today. And then again, I forgot actually to pull my Ariane 5 out. I don't even know where it is. Oh, it's under my bed, probably in one of my boxes. So I can probably tell you a bit more about my rocket project. I think I'm gonna make a video about it while I'm behind my computer anyway. So my rocket project is basically 3D print rocket engine, because it is part of a bigger project. need to do for school. I need to do one big project, put 80 hours of work into it. So a friend of mine and I decided to go and design a rocket. So we started off with, well, where did we go with this rocket? We had to have a experiment, but more on that later. So what we did is we did a sort of tiny research. We basically set up two parameters. One is the payload weight we want to launch somewhere. Two is the orbit we actually want to go to. So first of all, the payload weight is 500 kilograms because that is sort of between small satellite and CubeSats, because multi-launch CubeSat launches, it's like double the weight of a Electron rocket. Yeah. So double the payload weight. So we started off with, well, if this is the payload weight, and well, the orbit doesn't really matter because you want to between well, okay, the orbital height does matter because you need to search the speed to get there, but once you're in orbit, it doesn't really take that much velocity to change your orbit in low Earth orbit. Of course, that you need a little bit more speed when you go in a polar orbit instead of a equatorial orbit. But yeah, I talk about rockets, but yeah, I know there's some people watching. Some of you might have come to Twitter from Twitter, and some of them, if you don't have YouTube, you can't join the chat room in YouTube. You can also tweet me. Well, you know where you came from on Twitter, so if you have a question about the rocket, you can tweet me as well. Where was I in my story? Oh yeah, a rocket. So what we did is look at, normally you have the rocket is a certain percentage of your total launch mass, and actually the payload itself is really tiny. It is between 1 and 2%. So we took the average, which is, I believe, 1.5%. So we doubled that so we eventually worked out what 100% of the launch vehicle should weigh, and it turned out to be 45 tons and roughly 45.5 tons. So to get that off the ground, you need 45.5 tons times 1.2, because you want to have a launch weight thrust weight ratio of 1.2. You want in total to have that propulsion, like that liftoff thrust to get off the ground. And by the way, I will switch over to the Arianespace stream as soon as it comes live, but in the meantime, I'll talk about this. And any questions about the launch show? If you're again joining, hi, welcome. It's just me rambling about rockets. Hey, what's new? But yeah, we worked out. It is I don't know the number from the top of my head, but it worked out to be, I believe, 500 kilonewtons roughly. So, and we decided we are gonna have 5 engines on the bottom stage because well, there is a sort of you can argue between the extreme is like the Falcon 9, and you can even have more like N130 engines, but that's overkill. We don't want to do that. And so we decided to go with 5 engines on the first stage, and also because I didn't really want to look at let it look like a copy of the Falcon 9, because I've seen a lot of companies that actually do 9 engines on the first stage, but that's probably because their math works out like that. But then you split the thrust over those 5 engines, so it worked out to be 89 kilonewtons of thrust. per engine, something like that. So it was just short of 500 kilonewtons. Oh, there we go, 2 minutes and then it goes live. Quick, finish the story. So then again, we calculated that, and then we wanted to go. Why go and not just start with the engines? Well, you need to design your engine. Just the first thing you need is like what amount of thrust do I want from my engine? So then we actually want to have one engine out capability. So the engines are allowed to gimbal. Eventually, they are gonna have quite a big range of gimbal because they are gonna space. They have quite a lot of space. But then the engines turned out, so you have, for a one engine out capability, you need to have one more engine of thrust divided by those 5 engines. So actually with those 5 engines, you produce 6 engines amount of thrust. So when you lose one, you still have those 4 engines producing the same amount of thrust as 5 engines. You follow me? Yeah, it's kind of complicated, but it makes sense to me. And so we did that, and it turned out to be your engines need 128 kilonewtons of thrust. So what we did is then go to the math of it. So yeah, it turns out that the engine is going to be 1.7 meters tall, I believe. The rocket, no, the vacuum engine is going to be 1.7 meters wide. I'll make a video on the exact math of it, because I also used a tool to calculate. So yeah, and the project is not really finished because the experiment is still coming. So yeah, we have a live stream. So let's go to that. Let's unmute it. If it is too loud, tell me.
Greetings to all of our friends around the world, and welcome once again to Kourou, the home of the Ariane family, for today's live broadcast of Arianespace flight number 250. We're coming to you live as always from the Jupiter Mission Control Building. We're outside on the terrace, and it's a fine night for all.
I will stop the stream.
We arrive together.